So you are overqualified for the life that you're settling for. And no, it's not because you don't have the skills. It's because you keep saying yes to opportunities na hindi na nagmamatch sa potential mo. And naintindihan ko, if you get to the point where you have some form of success na na-build up mo na yung income mo, yung reputation mo, and yung status mo, and people are looking up to you for advice or maybe a coaching strategy, ang hirap bitawan nun. But deep down, kahit na alam mo na you're almost at your max or minsan nga na max out mo na yung opportunity na yon sa place na yon, sa role or wherever you may be right now, mahirap bitawan yon. But in this episode, kung nandun ka sa sitwasyon na yon, stay until the end because in this episode, I will show you that comfort zones disguised as success zones could be the reason why you're feeling stuck. Okay na ako dito. Nakakaya naman kasi sa mga tao na tumulong sa akin nang nagbi-build ako tapos iiwan ko lang sila. Ayoko na magsimula ulit kasi dito meron na ako na build and medyo comfortable na ako. Ito yung mga bagay na pwedeng marinig mo sa tao na yes, they have reached a level of success but they refuse to move forward or to actually unlock more of their potential. And bakit? Kasi kahit anong sabihin mo, change is the only constant thing in this life. Meaning to say, kahit feeling mo na na-reach mo na yung top, na na-reach mo na yung full potential mo, hindi ako naniniwala doon because dreams evolve, character evolves, so as skills. And just so you know, it doesn't have anything to do with greediness, not being fulfilled, not being contented, na parang gusto mo lagi na lang may next. It's not even about that. It's about striving to always learn and grow. Kasi as entrepreneur guys, when we keep working, we can reach a level of success where money is no longer the concern. Actually, marami akong napapanood na very successful business people na when they get to this point, their internal motivation nagsuswitch from making money kasi nga hindi na problema ang pera. This is when they start changing their own lives to actually making a long-lasting legacy. And what do I mean by legacy? Ito yung gusto nila ng makapagturo, makapag-duplicate ng sarili nila to teach other people the skills, may it be life skills or business skills sa ibang tao so then they can see other people's lives changed as well. Yun yung pinaka-legacy. And most of the successful people, dun yung endpoint nila. So this has nothing to do with being greedy or gusto mo lagi ka na lang mas mataas, may next level. It's no longer about the money. It's making a greater impact. Pero yung mga lines na nasabi ko nga sa inyo na okay na ako dito kasi may na-build na ako, when you start telling that to yourselves, and it's not because again, you lack skills, but it's because you're very comfortable and you don't want to do the hard work. Kasi nga, advancing means you're going to do the work again. Nagagamit yung concept ng success zone, pero ang totoo naman talaga, they're just comfortable. They're now in their comfort zones. Ay bakit ano bang disconnect din? Kasi nga, marami akong nakakausap na sinasabi na sa akin na Sarah, gusto ko pa sanang mag-grow. And because they don't have a good understanding where they really are, they think they're in the success zones, disguised as comfort zone kasi they no longer want to do the hard work but they keep telling me that they want to level up, that they want to grow, and that's why they're feeling stuck. Kasi nakakalimutan nilang i-acknowledge na they have become comfortable. They have settled for the success that they have. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't hear what I'm not saying. Kung contented sila and fulfilled, that's okay. They can stay where they are. But if they keep saying, I want to grow, I want to level up, I want to hit the next milestone, well, they have to come out of the comfort zone or yung successes na tatawag nila, and they may even have to leave behind what they built. Not necessarily, but in some shape or form, right? They may have to leave some of it kasi nga they are gonna have to go on a quest again where they need to work harder. And in some cases, they may even have to rebuild again. But that's really what growth requires, diba? Kung ikaw yung tao na to, let's say I'll give you some example and gusto mo mag-level up pero nahihirapan kang umalis kung nasaan ka. May mga nagsasabi pa na let's say toxic environment yung workplace nila. Sinasabi nila na, oh, I don't wanna leave this place because this place is gonna eventually get better. Maraming nagpa-promise sa akin that good things are coming to the environment na kahit sobrang toxic na, lagi nilang sinasabi na may magbabago, may magbabago. Let me give you this honest advice, guys. It is not your responsibility for your workplace to become better. That is not your responsibility. Your obligation to yourself is to find a place where you can thrive, a positive environment where you can grow, right? It's not your job to make the place positive where people succeed. It's not. That would be your employer's job. So ako, sinasabi ko, instead of investing time and hoping for the place to become better, why don't you go to a place where plug and play ka na lang? It is designed for you to actually tap into your full potential. Tapos meron naman akong alam na mga circumstances na people know that there are better places, like far better places to be in. Companies, roles, right? Or industry. Pero nagsistay pa rin sila dun sa company nila or dun sa place na nandun sila kasi dun sila nagsimula. Nandun yung mga taong tumulong sa kanila, nandun yung mga tao that is responsible for their initial growth, like the initial stage of growth that they had. Pero ako nagsasabi sa inyo, people in your chapter 1 doesn't necessarily have to be in your chapter 10 kasi maybe they're just meant to get you going, to get you growing. But that doesn't mean that you're betraying them if you keep chasing the best version of yourself. Kasi think about this, kung ganun ang sasabihin mo, na kanino ba talaga ang loyalty mo? Nasa mga taong yon o nasa family mo? And better yet, to yourself. You owe it to the best version of yourself that you need to keep chasing after rather than feeling stuck kasi gusto mong i-please yung mga tao na tumulong sa'yo and you don't wanna betray them even though it's not even a concept of betrayal, right? It's just a matter of outgrowing where you are. And like I said, change is the only constant thing in this life. Everybody's bound to change. It's just that, what would you do about it? You know, guys, personally, I've moved from one industry to another, from one company to another, from one role to another. And not because, like I said, hindi ito greedy ako, na I'm always looking for the next shiny object syndrome. It's not about that. Kasi I keep looking for a place where I can be surrounded with people that are bigger than me, that are better than me, na makakapag-contribute ng growth ko, and the place where I can thrive to be the best version of myself. And ako, lagi kong sinasabi sa sarili ko na I don't feel bad about leaving people or places behind. And it's not because I'm not loyal or I'm betraying them, but because I keep working hard to become the best version of myself. So ang masasabi ko lang, guys, don't settle for anything. Always move forward. What got you here may not necessarily be the one to get you there. And another thing is, give yourself a permission to outgrow the version of yourself that you once worked hard to become, right? Kasi akala natin, ayaw nating i-let go yung status natin ngayon kasi we work hard to be where we are right now. But that's what keeping you stuck. That's what keeping you small. That's what prevents you from getting your next bigger milestone. Kasi hindi nag-e-evolve yung dream mo, hindi nag-e-evolve yung character mo. And that evolution can only happen when you work hard or when you go through hardships again, di ba? Ang hirap naman kasi mag-go through ng hardship when you're already successful. Kaya tayo, nagstay na lang tayo sa comfort zone disguised as success zone. Sasabihin na lang natin na okay na ako, may na-build na ako, successful na ako, okay na ako where I am. Again, okay lang naman yun. But don't you expect to go and hit the next level if you want to stay in that zone. So now, ngayon, alam nyo na yung mga potential psychological barriers that prevents you from hitting your next level. Ngayon, bibigyan ko kayo ng 3 questions that you can ask to assess yourself whether this is what you're doing right now and how you can change it later on. Here's the first question. Do you keep showing up for the things that truly drain you and just because people expect you to do it? So I'll give you an example. Ito yung comfort zone disguised as loyalty. Nang parang ikaw na lang yung nagbibigay ng value. Kasi nga you have a level of success. So ikaw na lang yung nagtuturo, ikaw na lang yung nagbibigay ng value. Again, this is the point where it becomes one way na lang. Sila na lang yung take ng take at ikaw, hindi ka na nga nag-grow, ikaw pa ang nag-give, but because you have this concept of I have to do this because of the loyalty that I need to preserve, yun yun yung isang malaking question that you have to assess yourself for kasi this is very common occurrence. You give other people's value on a daily basis without getting anything in return. Remember, just because you reach a level of success doesn't mean you have to stop growing. And worse, na kailangan ikaw na lang yung laging nagbibigay. That's draining. Okay, the second question you must ask to yourself is, are you the smartest person in the room every single time? You know, guys, this is the most dangerous place to be in kasi dun mo na malalaman na wala ka nang natututunan, that you've maxed out your potential, na yun na lang at yun, hindi ka na nag-grow. And then if you go and assess yourself dun sa question number 1 na marami pang nagtitake from you and you're the smartest person in the room. And guys, it's time to look for another room kung yun yung case nyo. Kasi the moment that you stop learning is the moment that you stop progressing, period. You know, you're gonna feel obsolete, you're gonna feel like you're not moving forward. Tapos tatanungin mo sa sarili mo, why do you feel stuck? Okay, so ask this to yourself. And then ito yung pinaka-last question that I want you to ask yourself. This is a very powerful question. Look at your income right now. Look at what you've achieved. Is it a reflection of your full potential or your current fear? Now, itong question na to, napaka-powerful na to kasi I always say na kahit gaano ka pa ka-hype, gaano pa maraming nag-cheer sa'yo, at the end of the day, you just look at your income because your income is a reflection of two things, your full potential or your current fear. Why do I say current fear? Kasi kung wala pa siya sa level na gusto mo, then that means there are a lot of things that you just haven't simply done or you just haven't simply unlocked. Doon mo malalaman na parang, oh, I wish my income was higher. Then that's the time that you will realize now, well, maybe I am settling for less. Diba? But if you look at your income and you're like, I am happy where I am, my income is where I need it to be, then maybe you have reached your full potential. Who knows, right? Maybe may mga little tweaks ka na lang na kailangan gawin but you're happy where you are. Ito, isi-share ko lang sa inyo kasi nasa financial industry ako, right? And there's a lot of advisors or financial professionals na nakakausap ko na parang sobrang busy daw nila, na marami daw silang project or marami daw silang pinagkakaabalahan, marami daw silang events, marami daw silang clients, marami silang networking events. Pero ang nakalimutan lang nila i-assess is, ano na nga ba yung income ko? Ano ba yung tsura ng income ko? Is it a true reflection of what I'm working on a daily basis? Kasi ang busy nga ng calendar mo, pero ang income mo naman hindi nakikip up. Kasi busy doesn't necessarily mean productive and profitable. Kaya yung sasabi ko sa inyo, guys, guard your time because people will take advantage of it. They will take a lot of it, especially if you already have a skills that they want to learn, but you have to protect your time. Kasi ako naniniwala ako na if your skills and self-worth are increasing, so should your income. Kasi nga, it is just a reflection of what you're doing on a daily basis. So kung ikaw yung tao na sobrang busy mo, like every single day, ang busy-busy mo, tapos ang dami mong pinupuntahang mga events, ang dami mong mga potlucks na pinupuntahan, kung ano-ano man yan. Pero at the end of the day, titignan mo yung Excel sheet mo, pero walang income na pumapasok. Instead, you're just wasting your time on things that you could be using that can truly be a money-making activity. Dun mo i-assess, maybe it's time for you to look for a place where you could improve the end result, not the input. You see, busy doesn't mean productive. Kaya huwag ka masyadong magpapaka-busy unless you're assessing what the output is. So to wrap this episode, guys, I want to give you 2 actionable steps na after nyong matanong sa sarili nyo tong 3 self-reflection questions na to, ano na yung pwede nyong gawin so you can move yourself forward. Here's the first one. Audit and delete opportunities that no longer match your potential. It could be a place, it could be a company, it could be a role, or it could be clients. Okay, you heard me right. Especially kung ikaw self-employed ka or you're buying and selling and you have customers, clients to serve, pwede mo ding i-delete ang mga kliyente mo. You heard me right. Hindi porket business owner ka at hindi porket binabayaran ka ng mga kliyente mo for the service that you're providing, meron na silang karapatang i-disrespect ka or yung time mo or treat you in a way that is not aligned with your principles or values. Lagi ko rin yung sinasabi sa agency namin na You have to pick your client and they have to be worth it for your time and effort. Kasi business owner tayo, yes, at the end of the day, we want to make money, but let's respect our time, our value first, and let's demand it sa mga kliyente natin. Not every client deserves you. Tatandaan mo yan. You have to keep yourself worth, especially with your principles and values in life. Dapat you stay true to those two. And ito lang ang advice ko sa inyo. If you guys are in the place where they keep telling you promises that never happens, naku, ito parating na to. We're gonna improve this. Big things are coming. We're improving this. And they've been saying this to you for like 5, 10 years. Tapos wala pa rin nagbabago. And yet, andun ka pa rin. Let's say 5 years time. You kept hanging on to the promise that something will change, that they will improve, they will grow. Tapos nung nagstay ka, even after many years, andun ka pa rin. That is the worst case scenario. Kaya ako, ang advice ko sa inyo, I always do this as well, is I don't listen to what I'm being told. I look at what is being done. See, that's two different things. Don't listen to what you're being told. Look for the things that's being done. And if those two are opposite, it's time to find a better place. So the last actionable step, ito napakahalaga nito. And this is a prerequisite if you want to break the old version of yourself, okay? You have to invest in a bigger room with people who are smarter than you. Ito yung tipong papasok ka pa lang sa room at ma-overwhelm ka na sa mga presence ng tao sa paligid mo because the level of success that you want, they are working on or they've already achieved it. Ito yung mga nakakayaman, ito yung mga nakaka-elevate kausapin kasi they're always future pacing, they're always looking for the next level, they're always trying to be tactical on how to get there. At tapos, ang gagawin mo is you're gonna find a gap for when you talk to these people, okay? You're gonna find a way on how to close the gap. Kasi kapag na-close mo yung gap between you and them, that means you have already grown and learned along the process. Sabi nga nila, if you hang out with 4 successful people, it's hard not for you to become the next one. But on the same note, if you hang out with people that plans to stay where they are or have checked off or left the game a long time ago, well, guess what? You probably end up where they are as well. And also the last advice that I can give you, and you can take it with a grain of salt, but avoid the place where all they do is to cheer for other people. Okay? Now, again, hindi ito yung sasabi mo na huwag ka maging toxic sa other people's success. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is all they do is to cheer for you for achieving non-relevant things like small things. And I totally get about the small wins. Kasi think about it, if you keep cheering for other people and you are in the culture that we just keep cheering for each other, right? Even though we're not really moving forward, but we just keep cheering for each other and this is the culture, you can confuse those cheers with your own progress. And that is very dangerous kasi nai-stuck ka dun sa environment na you're confusing the cheers for your own success or for your own growth, right? Tatandaan mo, success is made when no one is looking, when no one is cheering for you, and when no one is clapping. Because at the end of the day, you grow faster for when you're challenged, not when you are celebrated. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next episode.